see if I can record this. Yeah, so formulation or the formulation process of CBOs, the first step is forming. And with forming is where the individuals in the community, they form themselves, I mean, they create a group, and then they have an idea. They first have to have the idea about the CBO. What will the CBO run? How will it be managed? Because we are saying it's locally based, it's usually in the local areas. So you really need to be very, very sure. So you need to form a group, then you people, you sit down and analyze what will be done. So it's a team of members who come together and discuss the idea on the forming stage, being the first stage in formation of CBOs. So those who are interested are the people who are in this category, because they're the ones who want to run the community-based organization. So after they form, they go to storming. And with storming is where now people are trying, everybody's trying to give their contribution. So there's some element of conflict. Maybe one group doesn't want to run this program, but the other group wants to run that program. So there's that element of maybe confusion. So there may be even some conflict. People are not settled on which program to run. Because remember, when they were forming group, they just came up as a group together, but they did discuss what will be done. So in stage number 2, in storming, it's where everybody is giving their views now. Maybe some are suggesting we run a CBO on poverty alleviation, others are talking about we run a CBO on health-related matters. So you see, everybody has their own. So with storming is where there may be some element of conflict, because people have not agreed on what they want to be done. Then from the storming, we go to norming. Now, norming is where they've already now agreed. After the conflicts in storming, finally they've agreed on which one to go with first. If it's about health-related issues in the community, the CBO may be up to that. If it's about poverty alleviation, the CBO would answer that. So after they've agreed, now they go to norming. So with norming, it's all about members agreeing on what they are going to do together now. So after they agree, they discuss your position. You are the leader, you are the treasurer, the secretary. All those duties are given in norming. And then from there, now they go to performing. So performing is what we call like implementing. We are now converting all these ideas we've been discussing now to action. So this is where everybody is expected to be active, and people are usually given that directive. In performing, we usually expect mutual agreement. Remember, we are working with different people from different areas, so mutual agreement is very important. We need to encourage people to work together, then people to perform. And then we also need resources when we are performing. We need financial resource, we need material resource, we need human resource. So with performing is where everybody is expected to be active. Then after performing, now we go to the last stage, which is adjourning. To adjourn is like what the project, we've come to an end of our project. Maybe our main aim has been well met. So from there is no need of anyone maybe to ask.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So I was talking about the last stage, which is adjourning, which is like now completion of the project. You come to the closure of what you are doing in the CBO. Maybe if you've successfully done you met your objectives. If you've not, you can as well sit down and analyze whether you can continue or not. But if you've successfully achieved your targets, then you can adjourn, which is the official closure of the program that you are running. But this doesn't mean we are closing the CBO. Maybe we are just adjourning the project and then begin another project. So those are the 5 stages that are there in the formulation of the CBOs. As I mentioned, we began with check from forming, then storming, then norming, then performing, and then finally the adjournment, where the program comes to closure. And then from there, let me see what else we can mention. Okay. So we have a structure in a CBO. What's the topic is on organization structure. CBOs are formal. So if they are formal, that tells us that they have the structure of who is on the top, who is the middle level, who is on the bottom level. So these tells us that everybody has a duty, everybody has a role. There are rules and there are regulations to be followed. There are policies in place because we are many people and we are running the CBO. So there's a structure of how things are done, how the employees communicate with the employers and all that. So when you're talking about a structure, we have things like departmentalization. Departmentalization is from the term department. So you find that if it's a CBO and we are doing poverty alleviation, there are those people who are concerned with food insecurity. They are going to check the community or the houses that don't have food. There are those people who are concerned with how will the food be transported to the people. There are people concerned with the accounts, the finance, people concerned with keeping records, you see. So in a CBO, we expect such structures to be there, departments to be there, because I've said CBOs are formal, they are official organizations, locally based. So we have the element of departmentalization, where we have several sections which run different activities. And then we also talk about centralization and decentralization. Centralization is where you find that if it's a structure in a CBO where we have the leaders and the employees, you find that with decentralization is where power is left only to the leaders. The employees cannot contribute, the employees cannot do anything. But decentralization...
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So you find that with decentralization, it's where sometimes power is shared to other people. For instance, if maybe you're the lead and you want even other people to participate, you can delegate. Delegation is where you share your duties to your juniors. You can sometimes request your juniors to help you. So it is very important to do decentralization. If someone may ask between centralizing and decentralizing, decentralizing is the best because you are giving your juniors a chance even them to participate in managerial, in decision making, in policy making. But with centralization is where the leader is the only person who does everything. You make decisions, policies, everything is them. So they never give other people a chance to participate. So meaning there is not even the element of experience. Someone may not gain the experience of leadership because there wasn't no delegation of duties. So in CBOs, we really encourage decentralization, where you share your powers as a leader. Share your powers to other people in the organization. It is one way to run things effectively and also help them gain the knowledge. Then from there, let me see what else we can capture. Is on the difference between a formal and an informal organization. There is some slight difference between the two, the formal and the informal organization. And the first thing is on the relationship. You find that on formal organizations, the relationship between the members is more status relationship. It's a more serious one because it's a formal organization. You can imagine if we are comparing a CBO and a merry-go-round. CBO, lazima your name should be somewhere, your full details, your ID number, because it's a formal organization. But for a merry-go-round, people even never go with their full names. You only know nicknames there, or Mama somebody and all that, because it's just a merry-go-round. So with a formal institution, the membership is more serious. The relationship is more serious than an informal uh, organization. That is the first difference. So for the informal, the relationship between members is more personal. Yeah, for informal, we are just personal. We met because we wanted to go for a merry-go-round together. After we get our money, we dissolve. There is no protocol there to stop. But for a formal one, the membership is more the status is more serious. There's a relationship, there's a structure of how things are done. Another difference between a formal and an informal organization is that in a formal organization, there is authority. In a formal organization, there is authority. So mean there is the delegation of duties. There's also coordination of tasks, because there's someone in the top, middle, and the lower level. So there's that element of authority, power structure, coordination of the tasks or activities. But for the informal sector, you find that the, there is no well-defined leadership in informal organizations. There is no well-defined leadership in informal organization. Hence, you find that there is no submission. As I said, with a merry-go-round, there is no structure. There is no boss. Everybody is a boss because we are all contributing for the same merry-go-round or table banking, any of them. So there is no well-defined leadership there. You can't say this is our leader. No, everybody is a boss in such a scenario. And then when we talk about another difference between the formal and the informal organizations, it's about the rules and the regulations. So you find that in a formal organizations, there are strict rules and regulations to be followed. But in informal organizations, there are no rules, you know. Informal is just a freestyle. Even if you come late in a merry-go-round, nobody will ask, unless nowadays people are being charged 100 bob and all that. But if see some of these things are just flexible, they can say today we charge, tomorrow we will not charge. You see. But now for a formal organization, rules and regulations are there, they are strict and they are followed. Because
You are currently the only person in this conference.
there are policies. Then the other one is on stability. Formal organizations are more stable than the informal organizations. The informal organizations are not that much stable. And then the structure. So for formal organizations, they are permanent. Formal organizations are mostly permanent and they are very stable. But for the informal organizations, they are flexible. So meaning they may begin today, tomorrow it's dissolved, because they are temporary, they are not permanent. And then another thing is about the structure. For the formal organizations, they have a complex structure, but for informal organizations, they have simple structure. Their structure is simple; it's not that much complicated. And then lastly, the formal organizations have objectives. There's what they want to achieve at the end of the day, but for the informal organizations, Sorry, I've been connected due to work. Sijui kama saa unanipata. So there's no power on my wifi. The phone will assist us for a while. Hope you can get me nani, Adija. Please type so that I know if you can get me. Actually now. Omar, please confirm. I proceed.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So sorry, it did because hope you can get me. Though I know we have now a challenge because my lights are off, so there's no Wi-Fi. I'm trying to use now the phone, so the network may not be very stable because I'm tethering with the phone. The Wi-Fi is gone because of the power. So please type kama unanipata nijue because I'm Adija, kama unanipata tafadhali, please you can confirm. Confirm if you getting me, please. Adija, can you respond? Lisa, can you hear me?
You are currently the only person in this conference.